What's up, internet? It's me, Ray Williams Johnson. Welcome to Equals 3. I'm doing the thing he does with his hands. I might be doing it backwards.
Please don't.
It's Henry Kissinger's Pokemon going to die, not a threat.
Just a fact.
That's this podcast, the number one podcast made by, for, and of the Terminally Online. The number one leftism podcast made by, for, and of the Terminally. It hasn't even been that long since I've done an episode. Why am I so fucking rusty about this?
I don't know. Because this is the first episode that you're doing after realizing you have a big fat crush on the podcast.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's just hard. It's hard to act natural.
Hey, Kip, will you go to prom with me and also homecoming? I don't know anything about homecoming or prom. Are those dances close together? I'm Sarah, a.k.a. Ralph Nader Ginsburg.
And I'm Val Flight Cub, a.k.a. Bitch McTurtle. Retire, please.
So how you doing this week, Val? How are you,
It's all the time. The world keeps coming and it keeps on coming and it don't stop coming and it don't stop coming.
Yeah.
And it don't stop coming.
There was, I don't want to make it sound like it's a good system, but the fact that there was like a single stick preventing the boulder of horrible, like even more fascism from rolling onto all of us, and then that was the only stick stopping it, and the stick just snapped last week.
Yep. May the memory of the stick be a blessing, as they say in Jewish culture.
We're here to shout out the podcast, The Stick,
and also to say that podcast is never happening again. It's over.
Listen, the stick parentheses podcast is the last bastion holding between us and fascism. Just kidding. We're already in fascism. It's just further. It's just like.
Yep. It's just more.
They're like
permanent.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like Ruth Bader Ginsburg was like a shitty sump that kind of like kept your basement at like a 20% flooded rate, and now that it crapped out on us, now our basement will get flooded at 100% rate, and also the rest of our house.
And our basement got no business looking like this. As the old meme says.
God. I haven't thought about that one in a minute. Thank you for reminding me. That was you're welcome. A small joy.
I love that. I remembered, I don't know why. I was like, we were driving in Boston doing something, and I just like randomly remembered the phrase "fuck what the teacher said."
That's also a classic.
Yeah, and because I was like, God. I was doing a slob squat for some picture or other, and somebody said like "fuck what the something said," and I was just like, "What is that? What is that from?" Whatever. And then I just like moved on.
Do you remember Slice's bed?
No, what?
Hold on. I'm just gonna pull up. I got a cool new keyboard. So you'll hear me tip tap that.
Nice.
Shit. Slice's bed. How is this relic lost to time?
I don't know.
I'm gonna post a call on Twitter to see if any of my friends know.
Speaking of things that sound that feel like old school internet now, I went on my Tumblr today to see if I had finally like gotten enough followers and spam followers trickling in to hit 10,000, which I have. Woohoo! That means nothing. Yay. But I also went through my inbox, and it's just tens of messages, people being like, "It's Thursday. Are you the Thursday person? Well, it's Thursday."
Well, are you the Thursday person?
I was the creator of that meme. I have retired from being the Thursday person, but I'll always be the Thursday person in my heart. But I did.
We will always love you, Thursday person.
Thank you. As an act of self-love, I went through and just, whenever I got one that said, whenever I saw one that said, "Are you the Thursday girl?" I just deleted it. I was like, I don't need this.
You don't. all you need Drake looking away meme, are you the Thursday girl? Drake pointing meme, are you the Thursday person?
Exactly.
So you're definitely not hearing. I hope this is not the first time you're hearing of it, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg died at the fucking ripe old age of. Hold on, how fucking
87.
old was she? She was 87.
Yep. And she looked like that Doctor Who episode where the Doctor is like really super old and has aged like a human. So he's like.
Is it? What season is that one in? I've only seen the Eccleston season and the first the first Tennant season.
I think it's one of the Tennant seasons, but maybe it's the second Tennant season or something. But it's the Master decides to like turn him into a human, or I don't know. He does some like evil witch thing and makes the
some Doctor Who bullshit.
Makes the Doctor age as if he was a human, and he's like 1,200 years old or whatever the fuck. So
sure. So he just insta-cast. Your age,
and he gets like really super wrinkly and like 2 feet tall. He's just this little old man. And
then he falls over and dies.
Yeah, I think that might be what happened.
Just like Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yes. So
there are. I don't really know how to come at this because, like, on one hand, Ruth Bader Ginsburg has a legacy behind her of both good and bad. Like, for example, her track record on Indigenous matters is fucking dog shit. And then on the other hand, like, she is like one of the. She is just like she was such a large like force for pushing and maintaining women's rights over her tenure in the Supreme Court and prior to her time as a justice. And I mean, these two things do coexist. Like they are parts of a whole. And I think the thing that's going to really just sink all this for me is that her, like, and aside, including any other sort of more conservative leaning she may have been in on her tenure. I don't know her exact record on everything. The Indigenous track record is going to stand. Like, that is, like, there is no way that whoever replaces her is going to have any better of a policy about Native people. But all of her legacy of women's rights is going to be effectively erased because she did not have because she was too #girl boss to step down when Obama had control of the Senate, and he could have just put a Democrat in there.
That their administration asked her to retire, and she said no.
Yep. She said no after having survived cancer twice at the time. And, like, her reasoning for it was, like, who else could replace me, which is such an egotistical thing to say. And I really recommend listening to the podcast is just 5-4, like, the number 5 dash number 4. They did an episode today about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which was a really enlightening listen. I really liked hearing what it was, what they had to say about it, because they know a lot more about, Ginsburg's history than I do. But it's just, like, it's just so frustrating that she chose not to step down and just decided to roll the dice that she would live the next. I don't know when Obama asked her to step down.
I believe it was his second term.
Yeah, so at least 2012. She said, "I will survive at least the next 5 years." And
it's just
the thing that's fun. The thing that I learned from the 5-4 podcast about this is that when I believe it was, I can't remember if it was when Gorsuch or Kavanaugh was selected, that one of the people who is currently at the top of Trump's list was floated back then, and his response was effectively, "Oh no, I'm saving her for Ruth Bader Ginsburg's spot," because as they also pointed out in the 5-4 podcast, Republicans love to do this. They love to replace Thurgood Marshall, an absolute icon of, like, black personhood and, like, advocating for black rights, and they replaced him with Clarence Thomas. And so now they're going to just take Ruth Bader Ginsburg, for all of her flaws, was also a bastion of women's rights, and then they're going to replace her with some fucking hyper Catholic
in the girl Power Ranger seat
woman.
Yeah, disgusting. The other thing, like, her saying who could possibly replace me is such a batshit concept, because, like, are you planning on living forever? Because you have to pick a replacement eventually, whether it's because you retire or because you retire from Earth.
Right, and, like, the absolute, like, even if she was, like, constantly fighting off, like, I mean, and she was, sorry, I'm having a hard time phrasing it. It's just, like, the best thing that she could have done in that situation for the good of the Supreme Court, for the good of the country, for the good of everything, is to step down and let another Democratic judge take her spot. And because, like, I don't know, she always just made it seem like about her duty, but, like, going down that lens, her duty, the right thing to do as a servant of the country would have been to step down.
Yeah, it would have lasted. It would have been a lot more
I just keep going back
impactful in terms of longevity. Because even if she wanted to, like, be a fighter and stay as long as possible, it's not like she was going to live another 100 years.
Yeah. Like, oh, God.
So I think the best encapsulation of liberal response to her passing was someone put a lace collar on the girl facing the bull.
It's so fucking
Mwah. Mwah. That's my chef kiss for that.
Liberals are so fucking stupid. Liberalism is a disease. It is a brain
If anyone
rot.
needs reminding, the girl in front of the bull statue was created by a hedge fund to distract from the fact that they were vastly underpaying their female employees. And her facing the bull like that just completely undermines the meaning of the original sculpture and is a total PR stunt. And also stupid.
And also is it's also a little bit funny to imagine the real life version of that, which would just be the little girl getting annihilated by a bull. Here lies Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She died as she lived, fighting a bull.
Being stabbed by a bull's humongous horn.
Just being absolutely good. Ruth Bader Ginsburg closed casket funeral because she had been gored. She had been gored from stem to stern by a bull.
Closed casket, and the casket has a big bulge in the middle from the part of the horn that they couldn't cut off.
I was thinking closed casket, and it's two caskets because the bull gored her in half.
This is so highly disrespectful to someone who just died. But also, not really. Because we're joking, and it's funny.
We're joking.
It's in Minecraft. It's just... Plus, we're not the people that got married and potentially killed her.
Oh God, I forgot. Hold on, Bader Ginsburg hair up, multi-casket drifting.
Multi-casket?
Anyways, yeah,
God.
Oh my God, but yeah, that photo shoot from like 2 weeks ago where two people had a wedding and they were just I remember the caption was like today was supreme because Ruth Bader Ginsburg
she officiated,
was there.
yeah.
She looked. I really thought that it was like the first time I saw the photo. I legitimately thought it was a cardboard cutout that they had like placed inopportunely because she looked so short.
Yeah,
in the
and she also like doesn't look like she's having a good time.
But she's just that tall. Yeah, she kind of looked a little miserable.
Nope.
No masks anywhere. And I mean, granted, there were 3 people in the photo, but still, no masks. granted, Ruth Bader Ginsburg did die from complications with cancer, which is this?
I have no idea.
Bout?
Not her first one.
Yeah, no, because she had 2 by the time Obama said, "Hey, take this one easy."
But still, I mean, being out right now, like, we can't say that, like, oh, she got COVID at that wedding and that's what did it. But, like, should she have been out and about amongst a bunch of people? Just in case? Yeah.
Probably not. Probably unwise. Like, literally, like, I not to get into, like, the way that, like, the liberals love to say, like, oh, Ruth Bader Ginsburg needs all my energy. I'm going to do all my push-ups and give her the strength I get from them. But they really should have just put her in a Pope-mobile and just sent her to home, Supreme Court, McDonald's, home, Supreme Court, home, Supreme Court.
The drive-thru only.
Drive-thru only. Do not go into that McDonald's. Do not go gently into that good McDonald's.
Oh my god.
So Ruth Bader Ginsburg's dead, which means there are forever only 8 justices.
Yes, that's it. And eventually,
Court, right,
40 years from now, there will be 0, and we'll finally be free.
Yay! We'll finally be free of this for life appointment.
Unless somebody decides to take one for the team and speed up the process, and then go to jail. Because of what that would entail.
For a second, when you said someone, I thought you were implying like one of the 8 remaining justices should like do in the rest of them.
Sotomayor, it's up to you.
Sotomayor, make this a 1 justice court.
So, speaking of liberal response to things, we forever must think of Merrick Garland,
Garrick Marlin,
and get mad online. I'm sure that if Merrick Garland got confirmed, we would be talking about, how much of a milquetoast, middle of the road, nothing, advocate he is. Because apparently the reason he was nominated by Obama was because he was a centrist, or like pretty centrist. But, we didn't get him because of a quote-unquote rule. It's just a thing that happened twice that Republicans like to pretend was a rule.
Wait, I didn't know there was precedent. I thought that Mitch McConnell was just like pulling shit completely out of his ass instead of just mostly.
It's mostly out of his ass. The last time it happened, I think, was like 1893. So, not a super recent thing.
Kind of the same way that right to bear arms was written with the idea of like 1 shot per 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah. Mind. Exactly. And it's also like,
real quick, sorry, I found the slices bed image.
What? Slices bed? Why?
I'm gonna make this the album art for the podcast. If you don't know what they're talking about, just look at the album art.
I do remember this image.
You just don't remember Slice's
I just don't remember Slice's bed.
Anyway, sorry to completely cut off your train of
No,
thought.
it's all right. To slice my train of thought bed. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. And there's also been, like, counterexamples between then and now where they did confirm someone. So what we're talking about...
Such as in 2 weeks when they confirm Justice Celia Joe from Caroline here, when the Senate votes to confirm Supreme Court Justice Kyle Rittenhouse, that will be another instance of them breaking the...
Yes.
Thing.
Yeah, so the precedent that Bitch McTurtle cited was that they didn't want to confirm a Supreme Court justice that was nominated by a president in an election year because, because then it would be a Democratic appointed Supreme Court justice. So that would be bad.
Yeah. It was just McConnell saying words and saying, okay, I'm not playing this game anymore.
And it was Mitch McConnell doing the thing that he did the entire Obama presidency, which was just, we're going to push back on everything he tries to do. Everything, no matter what it is, even if it's something we agree with.
God, remember how Mitch McConnell is up against a liberal? Remember how the Senate? Remember how the primary race for Mitch McConnell's seat was very narrowly edged out at the last possible second by a liberal who is praised Trump over an actual progressive by an extremely small vote count, and that person is now trailing by double digits behind Mr. McConnell and his... I
do remember that quite vividly, yes.
I just seeing all the people on the night of Bader Ginsburg's death being like, please donate to... What's her name? Is it Amy McGrath? Yeah. Donate to Amy McGrath so that we can do liberalism and beat Mitch McConnell.
Mm-hmm. It's just not going to happen, especially now. Like, it's way too close to the election.
Yeah,
you can't beat out a 2-digit lead in 40 days.
Literally, even if McConnell were to drop dead right now, it would probably still be the same thing as the fucking porn magnate who died and then was elected to his local government seat 3 weeks after his death.
I had not heard of that, but yeah, that sounds like politics.
I think that's the news story that I reference the most often on this podcast. I feel like I talk about it every goddamn week.
I mean, it's pretty good, so.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the difference to me is, well, honestly, I think it's a fake rule and it's stupid. But the difference to me was that Obama nominated Merrick Garland with 10 months to go. It was like the maximum amount of time it could be while still technically being in an election year. Right. And they had months and months and months to have hearings and vet this guy and vote on whether they wanted to put him in the Supreme Court or not. On the other hand, we're 45 days. I mean, at the time, we were 45 days away from Election Day when she died. And so
the thing is that even if it's a 50-state win for Biden and the Senate goes 100-0 Democrats, the Republicans still could entirely they wouldn't even have to rush that badly. They could just pull a lame duck session and say, okay, this guy's justice now. We're pointing at this guy. We're out of here in 2 weeks, but you gotta take this guy.
Mm-hmm. And Democrats don't have the balls to stop it. It's insane.
And even the party line is Ed Markey and even Joe Kennedy, the guy that Ed Markey beat a couple of weeks ago. Ed Markey and Joe Kennedy were both hey, we're gonna fucking if we cannot stop them from shoving through a Republican justice, we will pack the courts. Markey said it, Kennedy said it, and then Joe Biden comes out and is I can't have my own guys causing me these kind of problems.
Oh my God.
Did you miss that?
Yes, I missed that. What the fuck, Joe?
Hold on, let me pull up the news from Boston.com.
Why does he suck butt so much?
He's so fucking bad.
The worst? No, I'm not going to say the worst. But it makes me so steaming mad. So just cartoon steam coming out of my ears mad when I think about how close the fight was between Bernie and Biden. And the only reason that Bernie gave up his primary seat? No. His
pole position.
Attempt to be the Democratic nominee was because he didn't want more people going out and getting sick, and the Democratic establishment was playing fucking chicken with American lives.
God, I forgot about that. Jesus, I'm mad now.
Yeah. Can you imagine how fucking easy it would be if the way that Trump has fucked up, Bernie, like, he would win. And he would be like, all right, time to have 16 Supreme Court justices now. 17, because it's got to be an odd number.
Bernie would be absolutely going for the jugular about this. I mean, Bernie's definitely, like... Bernie has completely fallen in line with the Democratic establishment, basically, at this point, which fucking sucks, but, like, I mean, I guess that's just what you got. Like, I'm not making excuses for the guy. Like, I'm mad. I'm sad about it, but,
But it's...
You're...
I wouldn't want him to have branched off and gone back to being a third-party candidate or something like that. Because just... the numbers just...
I mean, like with his messaging lately about his, like, more money for police for sensitivity training, give them more budget.
Oh yeah. Hopefully that's all a front.
Yeah.
Probably not. But
yeah. I don't want to spend too much more time talking about Ginsburg. Well, actually, no. I want to spend a little bit more time talking about Ginsburg because Miss I'm with her herself has come out and laid out a strategy to keep the seat vacant.
All right.
You want to hear what her strategy is?
Yes, please.
All right. Can you give me like a cool video game website countdown of being like number 3?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's 3 steps, or top 3.
So actually, it's 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3. So give me number 1, then number 2, number 3.
All right. 3-step process. First things first.
3-step.
Number 1.
Win over GOP senators on principle.
Failed step 1. That's never gonna fucking happen. Why would they put that? That's like saying we should avoid a war by just talking to the person. Talking to the country. Step 2.
Pressure GOP senators in tight re-election bids.
What does that even mean? Huh?
I think it means to, like, anyone who's, like, within a couple of points of their opponent in their Senate race, lay into them thick about this, like, and say, oh, you'll definitely lose your Senate seat if you push this guy through. Which, I mean, they did the same shit for Kavanaugh, and it didn't happen.
Yeah. Boo.
God, remember Kavanaugh?
You remember how he's still on the Supreme Court?
Remember how he's still on the
And he will be until he dies?
Remember how Joe Biden almost certainly raped someone?
Remember how Neil Gorsuch is also on the Supreme Court?
My face when Neil Gorsuch? More like Neil Gorsuch.
When you nut and she's still Neil Gorsucking?
Okay, number 3.
Number
Okay,
3. Third time's the charm.
Procedural obstacles in Senate. And and then she caps it off with a quote that's, all these things, may be difficult, but let's go down fighting.
Wow. Well, it seems very Democratic Party of that person. Who was that?
Like, what are the procedural obstacles they can offer in the Senate? Like the Republicans have the House and the Senate here. Like,
I don't know.
They can.
If they refuse to show up for a vote, is that something they can do? So then there's not enough people to take a vote.
That won't work. If Republicans don't show up for a vote, Democrats say, well, we can't vote without them here. But if Democrats don't show up for a vote, Republicans say, sweet, we get to go to lunch earlier. Like, the Republicans don't play by the rules. They don't.
And Democrats want to be the, like, look how much better we are than them because we play by the rules party. But, like, sometimes you just gotta fucking play the game like it's being played.
Yeah.
It's also, the difference for me, like, in terms of, oh, well, it is an election year, like, how is it not hypocritical for, like, Dems and leftists, like, to want to not let Trump put somebody on the Supreme Court versus, like, Republicans and conservatives, like, not wanting Obama to have put someone on the Supreme Court is Obama was leaving the presidency because he had been the president for 8 years and you're legally not allowed to do more. Trump is like convincingly like in danger of being a one-term president and this being it for him. Like if Republicans really had faith in their man, they would say, fine, yeah, let's wait till after the election because he's going to have a second term. But they don't because he sucks.
The thing that drives me absolutely fucking up the wall is that, like, I have seen some poll numbers lately, and, you know, don't trust poll numbers, but I've seen some that say, like, Biden, like, obviously there's, you know, they don't add up to 100, but essentially Biden 53, Trump 47. And the thing that drives me absolutely batshit is that could happen just in a vote by vote way, and Trump could still win the election again. The feelings I will experience if Donald J. Trump goes through gets another electoral college victory with a massive deficit in the popular vote. Ooh. Remember how the Democrats just sat there and took that and didn't say anything about, like, yeah, we'll get rid of the fucking electoral college. It only produces Republican wins when they don't have the popular vote.
Yeah.
They could have pushed for that.
If that happens, I'm going to take a nice, fun, relaxing road trip through the White House.
In Minecraft.
I mean, I don't even have a car. It's obviously a joke. But I very much would enjoy doing that if I did it in Minecraft.
Hold on, I'm gonna get you with the I think Coolsville sucks and just edit it. You edit your voice to say I have a car.
I have a car and it's really fast. So,
oh shit! You're the subject you're the person Tracy Chapman was singing about.
Yes, I've got a fast car.
You got a fast car. I've got a ticket to Washington D.C.
Also, I just want to say, if you're a fan of I think Coolsville sucks and other such audio manipulation, you will enjoy our podcast 0 to 0, where we talk about Who Wants to Be a Superhero, who does that a lot.
It's so good.
Where literally somebody said, I don't think blah, 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 and the edit, in the recap, edited them as just saying blah, blah, blah. The opposite of what they thought.
I'm Timmy Turner, and I cheated on my math test.
Yep. Me, Tina, am Mad Pooper.
God.
So anyway, yeah, don't donate to Amy McGrath if you are upset and want to flip the Senate. Maybe donate to things that are dedicated to flipping the Senate that will direct funds to
actually work.
People that are actually close to winning.
Yeah, maybe don't just walk up to Amy McGrath's house, go into her bathroom, and flush your crisp $100 bill down the toilet.
Oh, going up to somebody's house reminds me. Charlotte Clymer. Do you know anything about her? She's on Twitter.
No, I know who she is. Like, the thing is that I hated her really badly. I despised this woman. And then I found out she was a trans woman, and I got even madder about her.
Dang it.
Like,
she's one of those, like,
anyways,
thank you, mommy and daddy, to Biden and Harris liberals.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, yep. She also had that, like, during the whole, earlier this year when when the media was actually asking questions about Biden's sexual assault of
Tara Reid.
Thank you. When the media was actually pressing about that, I remember her doing like a photo op with Biden where she was like, Joseph Biden held my hands and told me that there is no way he would have done anything, and I believe him.
God. Ugh. Well, so at, I think it was either 8 or 9 p.m. after Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, Charlotte Clymer tweeted, "We're marching to Mitch McConnell's house right now." And then 16 minutes later, she tweeted, "All the lights in his house are off. A neighbor who doesn't like him says that he's probably not home. Everybody's dispersing."
Wrong address. Sorry, guys.
And it's just like, did you even go? But if that's true, you just... His lights are off, so he's probably not home? Is it that easy to hide from the revolution?
Charlotte Clymer didn't look very far. Mitch McConnell was just hiding behind a tree.
God, yeah. It's
oh my god.
Just nothing. Just nothing.
Another great tweet from the night Bader Ginsburg died was Meghan McCain saying that she and Antonin Scalia were together in heaven.
Yeah. God. They're chilling as friends in heaven.
They're chill. Scalia is, like, listen. There is debatability about whether or not Ruth Bader Ginsburg went to... Scalia is in hell. Scalia is so fucking far in hell.
If there's a non-religious heaven and hell that's just for good and bad people, it's debatable whether they would end up in the same one.
Yeah.
It's...
Scalia in heaven?
Like... reading the big book of, like, things you did in your life. It says here you claimed to be pro-life. That's a ding, but then you also died anyway, so that's 2 dings.
The CinemaSin ding just comes up, and like, oh, that's 2, you're over the limit, and like, St. Peter just pulls a lever and sends Scalia plummeting to hell.
Yes. For the record, I would like to acknowledge that the Jewish faith does not assert that there is a heaven and a hell.
Oh god, that's right! I completely forgot about that. Yeah, that too!
So Ruth Bader Ginsburg would not be in heaven either. But, anyway.
Oh, yes, and there was that shit of, like, people singing Amazing Grace outside the Supreme Court on the night of her death. Like...
She was, it was probably very difficult to go to law school as a woman in the decade that she went to law school. I assume is 1860. I don't know. But
Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg went to college in 91.
Exactly. So she did a lot of stuff, but she was so memeified. The amount
she was.
like, if you searched her name on Etsy, the number of results that came up, far too many.
Yeah. I saw I saw a thread on Twitter. I'm sorry that we're going into minute 40 of talking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I'm not.
I did see a thread on Twitter today that was talking about how about the racist, like, juxtaposition of Ruth Bader Ginsburg as, quote, notorious RBG. Like, so much of the humor in that was derived from the perceived, like, distance in, like, morality and quality of personhood between Notorious B.I.G., Biggie, and RBG.
Right.
And
even,
I've been kind of
like,
out.
Even if it's not, like, funny because, Biggie was a bad person, like, the other juxtaposition of, like, anytime the joke is that you're comparing something in, like, mainstream white culture to, like, something in hip-hop is like, oh, haha, she's so, like, elegant and, like,
right,
like, on a pedestal, whereas hip-hop is this
me eating cereal. Ruth Bader Ginsburg would never rap juicy.
Oh god. Who was it? Somebody, I don't remember if it was, like, Donald Trump Jr. or Ted Cruz or somebody. I saw some screen cap of... Oh, no, it was Ben Shapiro. Him retweeting somebody who was, like, dunking on liberals or something. And the person had changed their display name to Ruth Bader Ginsburg's DAP. Which is just... I wonder if it was that before she died.
Hell of a legacy.
God. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So.
Oh, all right. Do you have any more Ginsburg thoughts, or are you all Ruthed out?
I think I've given it my Gins best.
You know what? For a party that is ruthless, the Democrats sure don't act like it.
Exactly.
Like that one?
I do. And it's true.
All right. Other story that we're talking about today is one that I am largely talking about off of a news article about. Did you see the thing the other day about the Mi'kmaq fishery?
So I've seen some things about this, but I'm not familiar with what's going on.
So back in '99, the Supreme Court said that I'm sorry, this is in Canada. The Supreme Court confirmed in September '99 that Indigenous fishers have the right to fish out of season to earn a moderate livelihood.
Okay.
Which is that's the law.
Sounds normal.
20 years after the Marshall decision, which was a couple of days ago, the Subiganagadee First Nation was like, hey, we're opening, we got our own fisheries. We're our small self-regulated fisheries. And non-Indigenous fishermen descended from the fucking, came out of the woodwork to say, no. Extreme, there was some, there were blockades, vandalism, some possible, violence.
Jeez.
Which fucking sucks. And the media is reporting the Mi'kmaq fisheries as illegal.
Oh my god.
Which is... The Mi'kmaq Nation, I'm again quoting from this article, the Mi'kmaq Nation is equal to Canada in its sovereignty and is just as justified to consider the Canadian fisheries efforts to interrupt their fisheries illegal.
Yeah.
But the government has not really come to chime in on this, except for Jagmeet Singh has come out and said, yeah, the PM must quote, I'm quoting from a tweet, the PM must intervene to uphold the legal right, a constitutional right of the Mi'kmaq to fish and make a living.
Mm-hmm.
The escalation of tension is a direct result of the government's inaction. It's time to step up and show with actions that they respect the rights of Indigenous people.
The Canadian government, which is very good at doing that and has definitely shown that in the past.
Yeah.
So are these non-Indigenous fishermen rising up because hey, you're breaking the law, or because they know that it's legal for Indigenous people to do it, but they're pissed that it's encroaching on their business?
I'm pretty sure it's that. It's that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hey, you're cramping our style, which is they have from what I understand, the Indigenous fishermen have about 50 traps, which is very small in comparison to what the non-Indigenous fishermen are bringing. I remember seeing somewhere that non-Indigenous fisher boats have on average 250 traps or so per boat, per fishing boat. Jesus. As opposed to the 50 per boat, and it's much more non-Indigenous boats than Indigenous boats. But
of course,
yeah. Ugh. God. And it just fucking sucks. The Mi'kmaq should be able to do the Mi'kmaq should not have to put up with this shit.
It sucks that it's such a progressive woke thing to be to acknowledge that we're on stolen land, but that we still have ongoing issues of sovereignty between America and Canada and other sovereign nations.
Yeah.
Why is that just a, difference of opinion level problem that's happening?
Yeah, quoting from this article, which it's from the Nova Scotia Advocate, written by Robert Devitt. I might be French, impossible to say. He's from Canada.
Nobody knows where anyone is from.
Nobody knows. But from this article, this is what happens when land acknowledgements are just things you say at the start of meetings, and when the term unceded is devoid of real meaning. Yeah, that's you just give lip service, and then when this shit actually happens, you just say, I am not looking, as Indigenous people are brutalized for saying, of course I come fast, I got fish to catch.
So, is there anything that can be done in support of them by people such as us? who are not there?
Let me see if I can find a donation.
Whether it's, donations in kind or calling somebody or money.
Hey folks, it's Sarah, just cutting in while doing the edit to let y'all know that I was unable to find any actual links while doing the recording, but shortly after we stopped, I stumbled across a tweet that had a link to a Google Drive that had a bunch of ways to help the Mi'kmaq Treaty fishery. So it is the pinned tweet currently on @theagentndn on Twitter. We retweeted it onto the @HKIPGTD account, and I'm also including a link to it in the show notes. Thanks!
I realized that we haven't mentioned the forced hysterectomies. Do we want to just not?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
We'll just
Because I meant to bring it up earlier before we went into the Mi'kmaq stuff, but
it's honestly, there's nothing funny to say about it.
There really isn't. So a report came out at time of recording, about a week ago by now, about forced hysterectomies happening at the border performed by ICE. Like, there is at least one doctor was identified as just taking the uteri out of as many people as possible.
Just genocide. Just race-based genocide.
Out and out genocide.
We're in it.
And
fascism.
It's terrifying. Like, yeah, it is. We are not, like, this is why I was saying at the start of the episode, like, this is not, like, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was not the stopgap between us and fascism. Like, we are already in fascism. Like, it is already happening. Yes. It's driving me absolutely insane that this is not getting traction, really, of any variety. Like, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death and the aftermath has completely swallowed the story up, and I was worried it was going to happen, but I didn't say it. I didn't say it a couple of days ago when Ginsburg died because I thought it sounded too scoldy and also sad. But like it's just true. Like, Joe Biden literally has not addressed this happening. Like, he hasn't.
Why would he want to bum people out?
Yeah.
So anyway, have we talked about the Garfield thing? What?
Sorry, that's just that transition caught me off guard.
Could not be more whippier of a laugh, but just thought it was important to double check.
Yeah, so
this is from 9/2.
This is exclaim.ca tells us GarfieldEats, that's eats all caps, founder Nathan Masry says his new web series is inspired by Quibi.
Just the best place to get inspiration, really.
So they have like a couple of like media like promotional images for GarfieldEats on. So there's a poster, and is Nathan Masry and his large forehead pointing at the screen and saying, "Love me, feed me, don't leave me," with Nathan Masry. And the tagline is so entertaining.
Oh my god. Is this self-parody at this point?
And also, there's another tagline that says, "In 2020, Nathan has a big, fat, orange responsibility to the 200 million Garfield fans." Then there's also a smaller image of Jim Davis sitting next to a Garfield pizza, which has now been redubbed the Jim Davis pizza.
Oh, introducing the world's first Jim Davis pizza. Is it Jim Davis pizza when there's pepperoni on it?
Maybe is that? I think there's like pineapple and red pepper on it, which honestly kind of sounds like I'm getting a little bit hungry thinking about that.
They're not the worst.
I am a pineapple. I'm a pineapple on pizza liker.
Have you gotten the Travis Scott meal from McDonald's yet?
No, I haven't gotten the Travis Scott burger.
What a fucking! It's such a weird cross promotion.
It's literally just on September 26th. We will all go into McDonald's and ask the employee for the Fortnite burger.
Because apparently, when he orders it with like it's a Big Mac with bacon and some weird sauce and like fries and barbecue sauce and a Sprite. Something like that. I don't know. It's just like Travis Scott's order from McDonald's.
Sounds good. That sounds good. I mean, I guess that's like a thing now because there was also the Tony Hawk burrito.
What?
You missed that?
No, yeah, I missed that. Is that like Neil Gaiman, What Are You Doing in My Falafel, but it's a Tony Hawk?
No, it's part of a promotional thing like a week before the release of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. Chipotle did a thing with Tony Hawk where like the first 2,000 people to order a Tony Hawk burrito, which is a burrito how Tony Hawk gets it.
Oh my gosh.
Got a free demo of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2.
Oh. That, honestly, I think if I was a fan of Tony Hawk more than I am just kind of passively a fan of him existing in the way that he exists, I think it'd be kind of fun to, like, order a burrito the way Tony likes it and eat it and be like, this is what Tony Hawk eats. Yum, 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 yum. I mean, he's like 50 now, so it's not like it would be like some crazy food. I bet it's like, replace the tortilla with lettuce.
Honestly, the Travis Scott burger is also not some crazy food. Let's be real here.
No, I know. Yeah.
Back to the Nathan Masry thing.
Yes.
Exclaim.ca got on the phone with him and said, hey, what are you about to release with the Garfield Eats media content? And Nathan responds, just to be clear, and I'm glad you're recording this, so that you can show this as proof. This is not a movie, and if it was a movie, you would have heard it from Viacom, CBS, and Nickelodeon, as my team has emailed you accordingly. This is not a movie at all, and that the teaser was inspired by the Garfield fans. For years, they've been following my journey. They've always asked me, how on earth did I even get the rights for this? And how did he get to me? Which is honestly a question that I personally have had also.
Why did God gift me with this blessing of Garfield?
So, jumping a few paragraphs down, question, is it a film or is it a TV show? What exactly are you shooting? And his response, well, it's not a film. You've got to stay away from this F word or Nickelodeon will kill you. But it's a video. You can call it a reality show. You can call it a clip or, but it's going to be online for at least for the first 2 episodes, whatever you want to call it. Again, I'm very careful with jargon. But again, journalism is freedom of speech. You could call it whatever you bought from me as a compliant licensee. I need to be careful with words. So it's videos that will be online across the entire social media ecosystem, and they will be about 8 minutes or so, or even a bit more. They will be short form, and we learned a lot from Quibi, even before Quibi, for movies. I'm sure you're aware of Quibi. We think that short form future is the future, and that's what this is.
I love it. That's so many words and so little information.
Speaking of Quibi, by the way, a report from The Wrap today, I don't know, not very long ago. After less than 6 months, Jeffrey Katzenberg is exploring a potential sale of Quibi, according to a report in the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah. He's gonna probably get, like, GameStop prices for that shit. We can give you $13.45 for the whole app. How many people do you think got memberships that didn't cancel them after the first free month?
I don't know. I was seriously tempted to download Quibi and just do the free trial to support Ron Funches' new show on it.
Who's Ron Funches?
That guy's funny and he deserves to make a buck. That guy's Funchy. They're calling him Ron Funchy. Anyways, that's what I've got this week. Time to take a big sip of water.
All right. I certainly don't have anything else because I did not research at all.
That's okay. We're actually approaching an hour. Good job on us.
Woohoo!
So Val, what's your Lightbringer this week?
My Lightbringer this week is that Alec ordered a couch for our apartment. His mom gave us some money to buy a couch, and we've got a couch coming, and I'm very excited to be able to watch TV with him and not be in separate chairs like those weirdos in the Viagra commercial in 2 separate bathtubs next to each other taking a sensual bath.
Bath sensual.
Yeah, it should be really nice. We recently were watching Glow Up, which is a British TV show about makeup that we got. We watched the second season first and the first season second. I didn't need to say that part. But the second season is like slightly better done because it's like tweaked to, based on what happened in this first season. So to watch the second season and then watch the first one was like so frustrating because the like kinks hadn't been ironed out. So we were just like, why is this challenge like this? Anyway, that's my Lightbringer, a couch. What's your Lightbringer?
My Lightbringer this week is going to be, I wouldn't say it's brought me light, but it's been a good thing to listen to, which is the podcast of Blowback, which is about the Iraq War. I'm learning a lot about things that so for context sake, 9/11 happened around the same time that I was watching not in terms of where I was in my life, not in terms of like this is happening on the same day, but around the same age, I was watching my cousin play Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I asked him, hey, who is the boss of the Dodongo Caverns? And he said, oh, there's actually no boss fight. The boss just invites you into his room and you play video games together. And I sort of just accepted that as the word of an adult and just did not investigate it and did not investigate that until about 15 years later when I actually played that game and got to that point for myself and realized, wait a second. That doesn't make sense. So anyways, that's how I took in a lot of information about and following the Iraq War, especially following 9/11, because I was like 6 when 9/11 happened. So I'm learning and I'm also unlearning a lot of things. Yeah. They had an episode that went in depth about Abu Ghraib, and it was really harrowing to hear about, and it makes me really fucking mad about Obama going on TV and just saying we tortured some folks. Yeah, not a good look. He said that.
We briefly mentioned 9/11 conspiracy theories on the latest episode of LMNOP podcast that I have with Alec, my partner, because this episode is all about a conspiracy theory. And so I told the story of how when I was in college, I was trying to say something more intelligent, but kind of sounded like I just said, I'm not saying that 9/11 was an inside job, but...
Great shit, Val. All right.
I do not believe that 9/11 was an inside job, just to be very clear about that.
Thank you for the clarifying. Really appreciate it.
Do you have the patron list or?
So I am pulling it up right now. So we have been Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Go to Die, Not a Threat, Just a Fact, and you can find us everywhere. We are HKIPGTD everywhere. That includes Twitter at HKIPGTD, Reddit, reddit.com/r/HKIPGTD, which we thank you very much, Reddit user Bisexual Punch Party, for maintaining that subreddit for us. I haven't messed that up in over a year, but I still get a little bit nervous every time I say it. And patreon.com/HKIPGTD. $1 a month gets you access to any and all bonus content. $5 a month gets you your name right on the podcast and a special user status in the Discord. $10 a month gets you all of that. As well as a more special user status in the Discord and the ability to listen live, as we have two people doing right now. So thank you very much to. Oh my God, they made it even worse somehow.
Patreon continuing to show why we should make a new one of it.
Yeah. So thank you very much to Cass, Shindiglet, Antigone Progony, Indian Snuffkin, your Sapphic Minecraft ACAB wife, Patrick Van Brunt, Alex H, Wynn, Jacob Sears, Bryce, Stefan Death and the Grips, Neve Noel Williams, Maximilian Rower, Boigameister, Bryant, Nick Clarkson, Destry Hawk, Tufster McGee, Alex Hoot, Jane Wick, Summer Geist, Dijon Ace, Pregnant Seifeld, David Besser, Paul Blart, Fleshcart, Scout Shiro, The Tallest Jew, Stephanie Ruff, and Alex Schaup. We love you all so much. Thank you very much to the Taxpayers for the use of their song Evil Men off the album Cold Hearted Town for our intro. Thank you to Matt GameCube and his Noisebase.xyz podcast network, which this and so many other great podcasts are hosted on, like the aforementioned Elemental P and Zero to Zero. You can, if you want to hear more of me, you can listen to me on Fear Baiting, which is my horror movie podcast. We are about to go into our bad movies month of Schlocktober. So watch out for that. It's right around the corner. And you can also listen to me on the Wonder Years, which is the Animorphs podcast I do with my friends Blair and Seda. It's really good, and we're back in the saddle. We have an episode coming out soon. By the time you're hearing this,
nice. And
and we're recording another one tomorrow at time of recording. And if you want to find me, I'm on Twitter at SunhatZhenya, SunhatZhenya, and I think that's all of my shit.
Nice. I'm Val Flight Cub. You can find me on Twitter at FlightCubB. It's two B's, because the second B stands for Boy, I Hope Bitch McConnell parody.
God, that would be nice.
You can also hear me on Elemental P and Zero to Zero, as I have mentioned. The other two podcasts that I am on, they're both on Noisebase. You've said that already. Just cut that. Who give a shit?
Yep. Who give a shit? I'll leave that. All right. That's podcast. But and remember,
Memento Pokemori.
Memento Pokemori. Good night, everyone.
You get a fast car. I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove.